All right, today we are diving deep, and I mean deep inside our own bodies. We're going to uncover one of the most incredible, most elegant processes in all of biology, oxidative phosphorylation. It's basically the story of how your cells create the power for, well, absolutely everything you do, from thinking a thought to just blinking your eyes.
But let's start with a simple question. Have you ever really thought about this? You eat an apple, right? And somehow the energy locked inside that one piece of fruit gets sent out to trillions of individual cells. It powers your brain, your heart, your muscles, everything. So how does that transformation from food to actual usable fuel really happen? That's exactly what we're going to break down. So, to figure this out, we're going to take a little tour of what I like to call the cellular factory. First, we'll look at the product this factory makes, its special energy currency. Then, we'll visit the powerhouse itself and check out its high-tech assembly line, which is basically an electron relay race. From there, we'll see how that race builds up a massive proton dam, and then, for the grand finale, how a mind-blowing molecular turbine cashes in on all that stored-up energy.
Okay, so, first things first. Your cells are incredibly busy. But they can't just use the raw energy from an apple. It doesn't work that way. Think of it like this. Your cells run their own little economies, and they only accept one very specific type of currency. To get any work done, they need to get paid in a form they can actually spend.
And that currency is this molecule right here, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. You can just think of it as a tiny, fully charged battery. Whenever a cell needs to do anything, like contract a muscle or fire off a nerve impulse, it spends an ATP, which releases a perfect little burst of energy. It's the universal fuel for pretty much all life on Earth. Now, get ready for this, because the sheer scale of our ATP demand is just incredible. Your body doesn't really store a lot of ATP at any given moment. Instead, it's constantly, and I mean constantly, recycling it. Every single day, your body recycles about 40 kilograms. That's nearly 90 pounds of ATP. That is a staggering amount of work happening non-stop at a microscopic level.
So if we're churning through 90 pounds of this stuff every day, where is it all being made? Well, that brings us to our factory floor. This amazing little structure inside your cells called the mitochondrion. You probably remember it from biology class as the powerhouse of the cell. And for once, that nickname is 100% accurate.
So let's just quickly get the layout. You've got an outer wall, the outer membrane, and then a super folded up inner wall, the inner membrane. Those folds are really important, by the way. They create a massive surface area for all the machinery we're about to see. But what you really need to pay attention to are two specific places. The gap between the walls, that's the intermembrane space, and the very middle, which is called the matrix. This geography is absolutely crucial for everything that happens next.
All right, now for the main event. Built right into that inner membrane is a series of protein machines that make up the factory's assembly line. It's called the Electron Transport Chain, but honestly, the best way to picture it is as a super high-energy relay race. And here's the key idea. The point isn't just to move electrons from A to B. These electrons, which are stripped from the food we eat, are buzzing with energy. As they get passed down the line, from one protein to the next like a baton, they release that energy in small, controlled bursts. The cell is basically harvesting their energy, one step at a time. So this race has four main stations, or complexes. Electrons get dropped off at complex I, or II, then they're passed down through 3, and finally they arrive at complex 4. At the very end of the line, these now low-energy electrons get handed off to an oxygen molecule. That right there, that's literally the reason we have to breathe. But what happened to all the energy that was released along the way? Well, this is where the real genius of the system comes in. The energy from that electron relay race isn't used to make ATP directly. Nope. Instead, it's used for something much, much cleverer. It's used to build a massive reservoir of potential energy. It's just like building a hydroelectric dam. You see, as those electrons zip through complexes I, 3, and 4, the energy they release powers these proteins to act like pumps. And what are they pumping? Protons. They actively pump protons out of the central matrix and cram them into that narrow intermembrane space. It's kind of like forcing a ton of people into an already crowded room. It builds up this immense pressure. And this creates what we call a proton gradient. You end up with a really high concentration of protons packed into that inner membrane space and a very low concentration left behind in the matrix. This huge difference is exactly like the water building up behind a dam. It's a massive store of potential energy, just waiting to be unleashed. Now there's a fancy scientific name for this incredible mechanism.
the chemiosmotic theory. But don't let the name intimidate you. All it really means is that a chemical gradient, our proton dam, can be used to power work inside the cell. And this is happening inside you trillions of times every single second. It's amazing.
So, we've built our dam. We've got all this potential energy stored up. Now what? Well, now it's time to open the floodgates and generate some real power. And that brings us to the final, spectacular piece of machinery in our factory, a molecular machine called ATP synthase.
And the analogy here is almost perfect. It's unbelievable. A hydroelectric dam channels flowing water through a turbine to spin it and generate electricity. ATP synthase does the exact same thing. It provides the only escape route for this crowded protons to rush back into the matrix, and it harnesses that powerful flow to spin a molecular rotor and generate ATP. It's just one of nature's most stunning pieces of engineering.
Is this beautiful three-step mechanical process. It's so cool. First, the protons, which are just desperate to get out of that crowded inner membrane space, rush through a channel in the synthase. Second, the force of that flow physically spins a rotor inside the protein, just like a water wheel. And third, this is the magic. That spinning motion provides the energy to literally smash a phosphate onto an old, used-up ADP, forging a brand new, fully charged ATP molecule.
And the payoff? It's huge. While other energy-making processes in the cell produce a little bit of ATP, oxidative phosphorylation is the big winner, hands down. For every single molecule of glucose from that apple we started with, this whole system can crank out around 34 molecules of ATP. It's an unbelievably efficient power plant. So let's just quickly put it all together. The food we eat gives us high-energy electrons. Those electrons run a relay race in the mitochondria. That race powers pumps that build a powerful proton dam. Then the flow of protons back through a molecular turbine, our ATP synthase, generates massive amounts of our energy currency, ATP. That, in a nutshell, is the whole amazing process of oxidative phosphorylation. But you know what? There's one final amazing little twist. Like any engine, this process isn't 100% efficient. Some of that energy from the proton dam just leaks out instead of making ATP. So where does that wasted energy go? It's released as heat. And that slight inefficiency, that is precisely what keeps your body warm. The constant, quiet hum of your trillions of cellular factories is what maintains your body temperature. It's just an incredible final piece to a truly remarkable biological story.